Hey, how you doing? So today we're going to take a look at the WAYB Pico travel car seat and why my wife and I decided on getting this. Then we're going to look at what it is, some specs, and then lastly we're going to look at what we hope to get out of this purchase and what we hope to get out of this car seat. So let's go ahead and dive in and take a look at this car seat. So this is the bag that actually it comes in. We figured this would be a good storage bag for it while it's at home. We actually settled on buying the additional padded bag, which it is stored in right now. And here it is. Now this padded bag is 70 bucks. And we thought it was a better deal than buying the one that's currently on Amazon as of this recording. The one on Amazon together with the car seat is 470 bucks. So it's a very thin looking bag. This one is pretty thick. You can feel from the thickness of it as well. And it has very nice straps. It also has this little area right here on the back where you can put it on a rollerboard or a carry-on, right where the handle is. And of course there's a little hidden compartment about 8 inches deep. It's about 10 inches wide for you to put in maybe an iPad mini, but more likely it's just snacks or emergency wipes or diapers or whatever it is, just to stick it in here, right? And then, as we open this, let's take out the car seat itself. So we chose the color Midnight Sky. So it looks like a very solid blue, I would say. It looks like the ocean kind of blue. It's not a light blue, it's not a dark blue, it's not navy. There's other colors online, but this is the color we thought was very neutral, but also had a little bit of pop. We didn't want to get black just because it's going to be clean, easier to keep clean, but this one just has a nice pop to it, right? All right, so let's go over the specs and what this is really designed for, right? So this is for kids 22 to 50 pounds, 30 to 45 inches, and recommended for kids 2+. Now you already know as a parent that car seats and kids, you want to have them rear facing as long as possible. But the reality is you're not going to carry those 20, 30 pound car seats while you're on travel. Well, we definitely didn't want to. So I looked online, my wife looked online. We found some car seats that were $60, $70 that are very questionable, but they came from name brands out there. But still, it was a bulky, non-foldable car seat, a standard car seat, but it just didn't make any sense to bring that around. So the use case for us specifically is, what happens if we jump on an airplane and we're in a brand new city, whether it's New York, Boston, LA, Vancouver, Toronto, whatever walkable city there is. We're most likely not going to rent a car. Again, we're not going to rent a car. We're going to either Uber, Lyft, taxi, whatever it is. So then how do we maintain legality and adhere to the law in that particular city? You need to have a car seat. So how are we going to do food hopping and travel lightly while holding this massive car seat? It's just not going to work. And even though we wanted to spend least amount of money as possible, ultimately the safety of our child is the most important thing to us. And then a very close second is mobility, and then price. So at $380 just for this seat right here on the WAYB site was a tough pill to swallow, but from the short time I've had it, we haven't actually gone on a trip. That'll be on another follow-up video. It looks great. The construction is wonderful, very solid aluminum here, and just overall the fit and finish makes a lot of sense why they charge for this. But also most importantly about this particular car seat is that it is safety tested against the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the FAA standards. That's really big, right? So wherever you go, whether it's the airplane or in a car, Lyft, Uber, or taxi, whatever it is, you know that this has been tried in a legitimate scenario. So that makes a lot of sense because that probably costs a lot of money to test a product like this in those those standardized tests. But also, dare I say, WAYB has probably cornered the market. There's not much else out there that has these kind of standards, or at least at the time of this recording, we couldn't find any. Sure, there's other 5-point, 6-point harness that looks kind of flimsy that you can find on Amazon, but it doesn't feel right for us to buy that. So again, Amazon, the high watermark, $470 for this in black with a very thin bag, but we didn't want that thin bag, right? So we thought, well, why don't we look at this? And then we went to Nordstrom's and found this bag for $70. On Nordstrom's, they actually listed this bag for $50. So we thought $20 extra makes a lot of sense. However, FYI, if you buy this straight from WAYB, which we did, there's an option to add a travel bag, which would be this one, a seat protector, which is a very small, thin layer, basically, that you put on top of your seat under this, and a cup holder for $150. Wow. So that would be $530, give or take, for that package. And we thought, we don't need the cup holder, and we certainly didn't need the seat protector when we're traveling. Now, if we're using this at home, yeah, we'd probably have a seat protector, but most likely we wouldn't need it because we already have a seat protector right now with our car seats. So that made no sense for us to buy the $150 add-on option. So then back to the $380 and just add this simple bag. So we figured it'd be very easy to take this in and out. And at 8 pounds, it's pretty light enough for my wife and I to, it really doesn't matter who carries it. One person's gonna wear this, like a backpack, and another person's gonna wear a backpack with maybe a battery pack, diapers, some snacks for the kiddo, and like 2 or 3 water bottles. That should be enough for us to walk around the city in a small backpack. So here's the backpack. This is a Camelback. It's pretty lightweight. This is what I use for snowboarding, actually, when I go snowboarding. And it has the ability to have one of those Camelback water packs in the back, and then have the little tube. I've since got rid of that because you just need to maintain it and get rid of it. It gets kind of dirty, but I've retained this backpack. And the really cool thing about this particular backpack is that it has this expansion zipper, if you're familiar with Camelbacks, and it can get a little bit bigger. So again, plenty of space for maybe some sanitization gel, some wipes, an extra battery charger for your phones on the go, and then of course diapers and water. Just enough in this little backpack. Plenty of space. It's pretty light. And then that's all we need in our little baby. So just the 3 of us should be just fine. So at least that's our plan. So let's recap real quick. There's not a lot of options out there. You look on Amazon, there might be some flimsy stuff. We looked at this. There's definitely sticker shock. But after doing a little bit of research, some other parents have used it online and on YouTube as well. It looks pretty solid, and now that I have it in my hands, I can definitely see why other parents have committed to this. I'll throw up on the screen what it looks like when I put my child into it, just test driving it on our couch. Here we go. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and unpack this guy and then test it out on our sofa and then put our little toddler in it. Okay, so if you can come over here. I already took off some of the cardboard, but basically it's tethered here for the seat. You pull that. That flips all the way around like this. Right? When you get into a car, you should have 2 options, and I'll correct it on the screen, but the first option will be having these latch anchors that you see here. That's pretty cool. This kind of retracts. Right, you just take this out, and it retracts back in, and you'll just latch it in. And the same thing on the other side here. Pull this out, release the latch, and there you go. Right? This installation probably should take you less than 120 seconds or 2 minutes, right? It's pretty quick. Once you have it in place, the next thing is just to really get the kid buckled in. So let's go ahead and unbuckle this. And for the first time, let's see how hard it is to buckle a toddler in here. All right. Can Can you sit down, please? Okay, here we go. Testing out the car seat. Yeah. These pads are pretty thick and foamy. You want to click it together? Push, 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 push. Boom, good job. All right. Then, please come down here. Okay, and then there are 2 straps on both sides that you can pull at the same time. Is that good? All right. I would imagine this has to be a little bit higher. So there's an adjustment right here. Right here. You push in to adjust. So there's actually just high and higher. Okay, all right, so this will probably be better for us at the low for our baby. And that's pretty much it. So just for reference, she is 2.5 years old. She's hovering around 27, 28 pounds. This is a 5-point harness, so 1 each hip, 1, 2. Center is 3, and 4 and 5 above each shoulder. So that looks pretty easy. And we don't really intend to use this like permanently, right? At home, we'll have a regular car seat. We're facing as long as possible, but on travel, through Ubers or Lyft, we figured this is the best and easiest way as we go food tour around cities and such. And we intend to try this out on an airplane and see how it goes as well. I think it's gonna work out pretty well. So let's take the kiddo out and we're gonna fold it back together and see how it looks. All right, so there is a button right here to loosen it up. Pretty easy, it's pretty secure when it's obviously not pressed. When you push the button, it's pretty easy to loosen it up. Yes, baby. Hey, yeah, I know we gotta take it out. We will. Okay, here you go. All right. Okay. Now, what we can do is fold this back. Take this little cord. It's not even a bungee cord. It's not even stretchy. Yeah. And you put it back up here. Okay. We'll put the latch anchors back in. Clicks in. Okay, baby, you can sit in a bit. Okay. And then my understanding is you can keep these pretty loose like this. And then you have an option to carry it on your shoulder. And there you go. So the same backing that your kid uses is the same one that kind of conforms to your back. It's actually not too bad. I probably loosen it a little bit more, but overall, pretty compact. I think it weighs about 8 pounds, so it's pretty light. Yeah, not too bad. Feels very, very solid. Okay, and now you're back. So, real quick on the latch anchors, there's a lot of slack just on one side, on the my right-hand side, or rather when you're facing the seat. Okay, on the baby's left-hand side, this latch anchor has a bunch of slack here, so you'll loosen a bunch of it, and then you'll be able to plug in the right-hand side, and then plug in the left. Make sure you push a lot of weight down with one hand, and then pull with the other one, so there's not a lot of slack between the chair and the cushion and the anchors, right? Of course, do the upper anchor whenever you can for whatever car you're in. I'd like to also show you the headrest. So our baby's head comes about right about here, so right in the middle of it, so we're pretty good. But as your child grows up, it's not really a medium setting. It's almost like high and higher setting, right? Kind of crazy. Just keeps on going. These are really tall kids. I don't know what kind of kid is 50 pounds and this tall, but that's awesome. All right. So just to give you an idea how tall it could possibly be. Here. So now that we've committed to this purchase, we're going to test it out in the next couple weeks on a flight. Hopefully we have a follow-up video and let you know our thoughts on it. But at least for the future, we really hope this will be a great investment for us. We actually saw this on Facebook Marketplace for maybe $100 off, maybe $200 off, and it was like 3 years old. So my understanding is the coverage for these are about 6 to 7 years, right? So that particular car seat was already halfway through its life at 3 years old already. So we thought, you know what, we're gonna be with our child for a while. Let's just make that investment, buy a new one. But it's also really good to know that when we're done, when our child outgrows it, there's a secondary market demand for this. We're going to kind of recover some of our funding and, of course, invest in something else that parents buy for their kids. So just a little heads up there. So hopefully this was really useful for you. Like and subscribe, and see you in the next one. And remember, decide wisely. See ya.